Phantasm.
Maximum terror.
That's your target audience, baby!
Phantasm.
And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
Phantasm.
Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal! Sell the metal!
Phantasm.
Yeah, I'm the Teppo drummer.
Yes, and I'm kind of a surprise guest in this interview. I'm accidentally at Teppo's place, so I'm Olli, the guitar player.
Awesome. Well, we've got the guys here. We're going to be talking about No Place Like Alone. It comes out March 24th. And, man, I'm super excited to talk with you guys. So, let's go way back. When did you all start the writing process for this album?
It started early 2019,
Okay.
if I remember correctly. Yeah. Then it started. Yeah.
Yeah, it was way before the pandemic, and we just met Teppo in our garden, and I was out of my recent band, and Teppo had quitted his band at the time, so we didn't have bands. So just kind of looked at each other and okay, I have songs. Let's try some Xysma songs out together.
Awesome. And as far as like the recording process, were you all like in a studio recording the album, or did you all just do it like sending files back and forth like on your computers, or how did that go?
Yeah, we started in a studio. We were all there, and all the basic stuff, drums and bass lines and guitar and the keyboards we did in a studio, and all the what do you call it? Can't remember what it's called, but all the vocals and the guitar solos and so on and so on. Everybody did it in home or whatever, but the ground bass was done in a studio. Yeah.
But now you're talking about the recording process of the album, but the songwriting went like we started just two of us in 2019, me and Teppo, and we just tried some riffs out, and after we decided, okay, we have enough material for an album, then the pandemic came. So it was basically we all sat in our homes, and I made some demos with my computer in my basement, and I sent stuff to the other guys, and they were like, okay, this is good, this is not so good, and then this is way better, and that's how it started. But what Teppo was referring to was the recording process.
So, is it hard approaching doing stuff? Because like I said, I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this, but it's like a lot of the stuff, I'm an older guy, a lot of the stuff that, I'm not into like deathcore music. I'm not into a lot of these modern, like there's a lot of shit going on over here in America. I generally look to Europe for most things. I grew up in South Florida. I was into all the death metal stuff when it was coming out, when I was growing up in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. And then of course I'm, grindcore stuff, same kind of thing. Like I was a big Napalm Death fan, and, there's a lot of like modern, like, I don't want to put too fine a point on it. There's a lot of like this hipster trash over here in America that's like these younger kids, and they think they're hot shit. And it's like, I generally try to lean backwards to like Repulsion and Napalm Death, stuff like that. And even you guys. So is it is it difficult going in and writing stuff where you're like, well, you know, are we going to do this like old school, or are we going to try to do this where we have like a modern sheen to it? Does that make sense? Like,
well, yeah. For starters, we haven't think about it or thought about the metal thing at all since like 1992 or something.
sure.
So it's what comes to writing is it's just music. We're not. If it's metal, then it's okay. But it may mostly it doesn't have anything to do with the metal thing.
Yeah, but when we started to write these new songs for the album, I kind of looked beat back that where we sounded the best, where the Xysma sound was the best sound we ever made. We made different kind of albums in the 90s. So, but it wasn't like a time machine to go back to the certain place or a certain time. It was always like developing and then bringing new stuff to our music. But this time I just kind of thought that okay, we're gonna need some good riffs and good up tempo songs to sound like we used to sound.
Sure.
When we were the best. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I'm not trying, this has nothing to do with you guys, but there are bands out there that I loved growing up, and like, they still put albums out, and it's like, I don't know why they're still putting records out. It's just, I guess so they can tour and make money, and that's fine, but it's like, they're not doing anything different creatively, and it's just kind of like, it's like, why, I guess they just need money. I mean, I don't know, but there's no inspiration behind it at all, you know, whereas, you know, I listened to this record, and it's like, wow, this is really cool. It's classic sounding, but it has like a fresh sheen on it. And I'm not sure if that's what you were referring to there, but it was fucking cool because, like I said, and I think there's something to be said, and that's kind of where I was going with this. I hope I didn't confuse you guys with it, but for me, just as a listener, not as a musician, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes here, it's a compliment. You know, you can't be 24 years old and we're living in 1990 writing certain types of metal, you know? Like, you can try to go do that, and that's fun, but for me, because I'm older, I'm 48, and it's like, what is this? Like, you know, like, this is not, you know? And there's very few bands that honestly, that I still like, that still, I feel like genuinely put out something that's worth listening to. It's like, otherwise, it's like, oh, we're going through the motions, we're going to put this out, come see us. It's like, not only am I not going to come see you, I don't even want to listen to this because there's no inspiration whatsoever. So, like I said, I think your all's new album is very fresh, and it, like I said, it has a classic sheen to it, but some new, like, you know, moments in there. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, but the new thing when we started, because the guitar player, Tony, had died, so we didn't.
I'm sorry.
There's no way to bring him back. So it was like a fresh start for us. That we didn't want to bring another guitar player to replace Tony, but we brought a keyboard player.
Right.
So that was basically a new thing for us to have a keyboard player. We used to have a keyboard player in our albums in the 90s.
Sure.
Just like guest musician, but now we have a keyboard player in a band. As a permanent member, so that was a kind of a fresh thing when we composed the songs and we wrote the songs. It was really interesting way to make new riffs and new songs with a permanent keyboard player.
I mean, I think the keyboards on the album add a lot of depth to it, to the songs, because I'm an album guy, so I when I listened to it, I wasn't like flipping through tracks. I just listened to the whole thing. Cracked a beer, listened to the whole fucking thing. cracked a few beers. But anyway, but yeah, it's like and I've got some really nice Bose headphones. I was just like listening to it with my headphones. Then I was listening to it when I was out driving around. I had to take my buddy to the doctor's office yesterday, and I was listening to the album in the car. I mean, it's really cool. And I think the keyboards add a lot of like depth to the songwriting, I think too. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool. Now, was that difficult for you guys to find someone to come in and do keys? Did y'all think about doing it yourself initially with like writing it, or did you just like, well, we're going to bring in a keyboard player?
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
Okay, I think when we kind of decided that we're going to put the band together again and make a new album, so it was kind of my decision to not to have a guitar player, another guitar player,
Sure.
than the keyboard players. Yeah, but yeah, I really wanted to go forward with our music, so it was really nice when I was talking with Janne, and his thing that when I asked him that okay, would you join this band, and he said okay, then I have to find the sound that fits to the older songs that we play live, and bring some new to the band. And he find this clarinet with a huge distortion in it, and it sounded great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think that was the basic thing, that now we have the lineup together, and now we can do the older stuff, but we can move forward.
So as far as like the mix and the mastering, did you all do it yourselves, or did you bring in like a producer? Or
we have this guy Ville Valavuo, who is much younger than us. We are in our 50s, so he's like 20 years younger, and he was brilliant. He's
awesome.
Really famous guy here in Finland in a punk scene.
Oh, cool.
And he was really into the distorted sounds. I think he once said that his favorite Xysma album is the first demo, of course, and he was really into the keyboard sounds that just he brought so much noise, the kind of chaos into our music back again.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Now, did he Did he do the mix and the production on the album?
Yes.
Yeah, he did it. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds incredible. Like I said, it's got a really good sonic. It's incredibly well done. He's very talented, and it seems like he captured hopefully what you guys were trying to do creatively, because it sounds great. What are some of the songs on the album that you guys would like to talk about?
Well, yeah. I think one is this the Midnight Call. It's a bit different, but we haven't done anything else like that earlier. Basic thing was, I think, was in that song is it's like psychedelic heavy sound thing. And the song needed that sound, but then I realized that it could be sound good if you add a little bit 80s stuff in there, and the keyboards really did that thing, and I think it's nice combination.
And Midnight Call started as a basic like a rock, AC/DC kind of a rock riff song, but it in the studio it turned out that okay, this song needs something more to it.
Sure.
So Janne came up with a kind of 80s synth bass lines and all these analog synth things.
Excellent. As far as a producer, when you guys were going in and recording, would he make suggestions like, "Hey, this here and there," like, or is that something where you all, were not really interested in doing that, or was that something you guys welcomed if he did stuff like that?
Actually, he was the record company suggested us that what about this guy? When we talked about that, who is going to, recording it, not
Sure.
really the producer one. But they just suggested that, what about this Ville guy? And I went, okay, that's good. There's no really matter who's pressing the record button. But it turned out to be more than just a recorder. And it just grew up with when we did that. I think it was basically it was us who produced that, and Ville just came along.
That's awesome. And then, as far did you all use different instruments that you would normally use like live? Did you use like a different like for your example for the drums? Did you do different stuff drum wise, and then did you use different guitar wise that you would not use normally live? Because I know different times when recording, artists will use different instruments when they do different songs or stuff, as opposed to what they would necessarily use live.
Yeah, the drums were all the same all the time.
Oh, but, cool.
Of course, the guitar-wise is a whole different game.
But the drums were not the same drums that you use live.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It was better drums in the studio. Yeah.
But the guitar and keyboard-wise, it was like an adventure. When we had like two big bags of vintage effects, and we have so many vintage tube amps to try out, and we love this kind of stuff in the studio, just to try out sounds and different amps and effects, and we love all the vintage stuff.
Yeah, of course, and drums were vintage as well. They were like Ludwig from '65.
Oh wow! Very cool, very cool. And then guitar-wise for you, did you use some different stuff on the album that you would not normally maybe use, or?
Yeah, I have my '62 Jazzmaster, which I use on live gigs as well. That was my main guitar on the studio too. But then I used, because Ville, the producer guy, his guitar player. So he had some interesting, like Flying V's and Fender Stratocasters, and so I think I used like 5 or 6 different guitars on album, but I can't really, when I listen to the album, I can't really tell which one is which.
Oh, okay. And then arranging the songs after you guys had everything done, was that hard to do, to go find a working order for the album? Because as a listener, listening to the album, I mean, it's incredible the way you've arranged the songs. Was that difficult to do that?
That's always been Teppo's job in the 90s and even today.
He did a great job.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. I don't know. There's no certain rules about that. It's just something that I hear in my head and in my solo, whatever. I can't really explain that.
But may I help you? Because Teppo always has, like, when we know the songs, and these are the songs on the album, he pretty much in the first minute he knows that this is the song that's gonna end the album. This is the first song on the album. This is the last song on the A side of the album, and this is the first song that starts the B side. So there's like 4 songs locked.
Yeah.
Right away.
already in when there's even finished those songs, writing those songs.
Yeah. So he has his vision that, and these are the places on the album, and we always think of the album as a vinyl album, like there's A side and B side, and I think pretty much then it goes like there's only then like 6 songs left. So it's pretty easy. Oh, not easy, but.
Yeah. And I'm really glad about that. That it always say, except they really liked my decisions about that. And when they try to arrange that, okay, what if we put this second one or third one? It doesn't sound so good. So.
We tried a few different song orders on this album, but this one was the best.
I mean, it's impeccable what you did with the. I mean, I can't imagine any other way after listening to it a couple times. So you did a great job with that. And then, what about comparisons from both of you? Just for No Place Like Alone all the way back to Swarming of the Maggots. Like, how would you say just the growth of the band over, 25 years? So.
This is a hard thing. But you want to start?
No, you start.
Because when I joined the band, I was 15.
Oh, wow.
And this year I turned 50. So it's a long way. So it kind of all the albums, all the music, all the songs we made kind of represent the time, the musical atmosphere where we were at the time.
Sure.
So, because they started the band, the 3 of us, without me, in '88, and I saw their first gigs, and it was always, this is the band where I want to be. This is the band where I should be.
Awesome.
And it took me like 1 year to get into the band, and when we made the music together, then it developed, and then the '90s came. Of course, there were so many more influences than the metal scene where we grew up when we were 15, and then we kind of developed the sound of Xysma, which is too heavy for the rock and roll fans, and which is too light for the heavy metal fans.
Sure.
And we've always been in a marginal, and we felt that really comfortable place for our music. It didn't pay as much financially, but we always kept high level to our music, and we did it as good as we could.
Now that what you said, now I realize that No Place Like Cologne gives it another dimension. What did you say? Yeah. Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay. But now we are in our 50s and we make this kind of album, and for me, okay, this is cliche every time, but for me this is the best album we ever made, but this is the best album we ever could have made in this time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, with the different, all the different options, like media-wise now, with music, and you guys were about the same in age. I'm just a few years younger, so I just love your thoughts on this. What's your thoughts on the whole streaming stuff now? Because I have mixed feelings on it, and then the whole, as opposed to physically buying music, which I wish I still could, except here in Florida, there's not a goddamn record store within like fucking 200 miles of me. So I have to buy, I still buy stuff, but I have to buy it on the goddamn internet. And then I feel like I'm cheating on you guys and any other band if I'm listening to it on fucking YouTube. So it's like they're not making any money. So what are y'all have any thoughts on that, like physical media as opposed to streaming? And do you wish it was people still bought physical media? Supposedly still people buy vinyl. I mean, which I think is cool. I can't afford it, but I think it's cool that it exists. Any thoughts on that?
I think it works both ways. That it's for like a new bands with starting this thing. It's really great opportunity to keep the music available for everybody.
Sure.
Yeah, but of course, if you like to have some money for the record sales, then you have to like sell millions of records. Otherwise, it's just not commercial thing. It's no good. But I think it's good all the way if you want to spread your music.
Yeah. But with our band, because we never made a fucking penny of our music.
Right.
So it doesn't. So basically, to us as a band, it means that our music is now more reachable for everybody.
That's good. I mean, that's a good thing.
We make same amount of money, which is basically zero. So,
Right.
yeah.
See, that's one thing I hate about it. I feel like, and it could be any band, any genre of music that you guys like or I like, and if you go listen to it, it's like, am I helping them or am I hurting them? That I guess is, I feel, and maybe it's just because I'm older, I don't know, but you guys know what it's like. Am I hurting this band because I like them and I feel like I'm fucking them over by listening to it, on the damn internet?
No. But like you said, that we are old school guys, so we want to see our music in a vinyl. So
yeah, and because I don't know how many vinyls did Smart Records press. 500, maybe 1,000, but that's really small thing going on. So it's basically on the internet. The music is there.
Which is good. That's good. You guys go do shows and what? And then tell us a little bit about that while we're wrapping this up. You guys have got some shows coming up.
Yeah. In summer we have like 4 shows.
Hey, it's cool though. Is it fun to get out there and make a set list and go through some of the classic stuff and then mix in the new stuff? Or are you guys just doing the new stuff?
I think we are mostly doing the new stuff.
Nice.
Of course, we're playing some 90s stuff as well. Yeah, of course. But it's like we haven't really talked about it yet.
Yeah. But it's. We have certain limits because we are doing big festivals, and there's a time limit. It's like 45 minutes to 60 minutes, so it's you have to think about it. What songs you can play, and I'm hoping that we can do in the fall. We can do some club touring or whatever, which we are doing only hours, so we can play a longer set or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, are y'all just doing stuff around where you're at? Or are you going to be doing like all over Europe or just the 4 shows, or y'all just, or is it just Finland? Okay.
So far, it's only Finland.
That's another thing. It just seems like, and I don't know what you guys think about this, just to kind of wrap this up. I've had fun talking with y'all. I hope you guys have had fun. But it's interesting to me because, so you got the pandemic, everything shut down. I don't know how it is over there. I can only imagine. But over here, it's like every goddamn band on the fucking planet's touring, and you don't have enough money to go. There's like a band plan, which is great. I'm glad everybody's back out there, but it's like, how do you choose if you're a fan? Like, am I going to go see this? Am I going to see, like, there's literally like some stuff. It's like the next night there's someone else playing, and it's like, which is great, but it seems like there's at least over here there's too many people playing app shows.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So there's plenty of choose.
Well, hopefully they get you guys on some more festival stuff. That way you can get out there, because, you know, I talk with so many different bands, and I'll make this my last question. Do you like just doing the one-off stuff and then come back home, or would you actually like to go out on the road again, like on like an actual thing in Europe somewhere?
I actually would like to go on tour. I really love to do gig after gig.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Kids, pick up Xysma's new album, March 24th, No Place Like Home. It's really, really good. Listen to the whole thing. Don't just listen to a goddamn song. Listen to the whole album. It's really good. Lots of good stuff on here. And I can't thank you guys enough for doing this. I've had a lot of fun speaking with you. And I wish you all the best. And I hope we can chat again sometime. And hope you all have a great weekend.
Yeah. You too.
Phantasm.
And you know something? I sort of enjoyed it.
Phantasm.